top of our stories. Let us know how TQA conducted limited face-to-face classes. Vaccination Day for Q-Kids ages 5 to 11 held. Another quantum leap. DepEd's validation in TQA for the expanded limited face-to-face classes. Let us find out the latest booster shot statistics in the country. What are the importance and risks of political rallies? Let's find out. Time to get to know Jensen's candidates for mayoralty position. On Sports Buzz, UAAP's Children's Competition is finally back. It's time for Bang through P-Pop's new caliber, G22 and pop culture. Reaching out to you straight from the Quantum Academy. This is Quantum Leap.
Good day, TQA community, and welcome to another episode of The Quantum Leap. For the Quantum Insider News, limited face-to-face classes took place in TQA, one of the first in its region. Now let us see what happened and how it was conducted. Reporting the Deep is Micaela Paderna. Mika?
Just like all the other public and private schools in the Philippines, the Quantum Academy also adopted an online class system last 2020 to avoid the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. But with the lowering number of cases, the continued observance of safety protocols, and the permit from local health and educational agencies, the school finally was able to slowly conduct limited face-to-face classes again.
So what I could say about being back to face-to-face classes after 2 years, ever since the pandemic started, I feel like it's a big change, like a very big change due to the protocols, due to social distancing, and due to the new system that Quantum is trying to apply. But what I can tell, it's a new experience for me because everything I experience here, I'm glad that I'm here, that everything will work out fine in the near future.
What I can say about this first day of face-to-face classes during this pandemic is that I really feel happy to return to my school since it is my new chance to get in touch with this physical setting of the academe while the pandemic is still ongoing.
On March 2, 2022, on-campus classes of the grade 12 students kicked off. However, it was not as easy as it seems.
Actually, at first, very overwhelming siya and shocking since it's 2 years bago kami naka face-to-face. But it's very fun and good na face-to-face na kasi we are able to face our teachers and mas confident kami mag-recite face-to-face.
Before they could enter the school, the grade 12 students had to have their waivers signed by their parents and checked by the admin. They also were required to bring their vaccination cards, which they had to let the guard scan. as non-vaccinated students are not allowed to attend face-to-face classes. After that, they washed their hands and checked their body temperature. At the right wing of the campus, near the entrance, the students had to fill out a form asking for their personal information, travel history, and whether or not they experienced any symptoms days prior to the face-to-face class. After this, they had to sanitize their hands once again before finally being allowed to enter their classroom, where they were seated a meter apart from each other. Classes last for the whole afternoon, but contact is limited. The Quantum Academy only accommodates 12 students per classroom per day. This is so that the students are less at risk of contracting the virus despite learning together.
Well, for almost 2 years of holding the classes online, I think it's finally good to meet the students finally in a face-to-face setting, because it's really fun on the side of the teacher, because on my part, I can see whether they are really listening, whether they are participating or doing the activities that I assign to them. And I think it's best for them to really attend the face-to-face classes, because it's really different when you attend pure online.
Therefore, not all students who wish to attend face-to-face classes were catered, and some still attend classes online. The schedule is rotational too.
Preparing the classroom for the simultaneous face-to-face and online classes is actually smooth and easy, due to the teachers who are already well-versed with what to do or how to conduct classes using our long shot or hybrid classrooms. That serves as a preparation for the simultaneous face-to-face and online classes. And since all their classrooms are already set up in this way, some of the equipment have already been purchased since last year. That's why the transition is actually smooth and easy.
It may sound complicated, but with the technology that the school invested in, hybrid learning has easily become the new normal for the quantum community.
It was a very exciting day for all of us because it's our first day ever face-to-face classes after almost 2 years of school closure because of online learning. It was a successful one, and with that, I would like to thank the school staff, the teachers, the school admin of course, and the parents who supported us to make this face-to-face classes possible. And of course, to the students who are very responsible and very excited in having these face-to-face classes by following the safety protocol.
Being one of the very first schools in Region 12 to make use of this mode of learning, the Quantum Academy has indeed set a notable example to all the other schools who will eventually need to make use of the same system. This has been Micaela Paderno reporting and taking the lead.
Vaccination drive for 5 to 11 years old took place this month. Another challenge accepted by the Q Kids. For complete details, reporting the leap is Amanda Garcia. Amanda?
Just last February, the COVID-19 vaccination drive for Q Kids was carried out. The first dose for the vaccine was given on February 21, followed by the second dose on March 14. Both were administered at the Retro Hall of St. Elizabeth Hospital.
As you can see, the vaccination as of now is not many children are brought to this institution for vaccination. Maybe because of number one reason, they are afraid of the side effects, and number two reason is that vaccination is not yet well studied as of now. But rest assured that many countries already started vaccinating children from 5 years old to 11 years old. And studies would show that 95% of vaccinated children would not go into the severe complications na mas kinakatakutan ng mga pediatricians, which is the multi-system inflammatory syndrome in the children. Yun yung 2 to 6 weeks after nila magkaroon ng COVID is magkakaroon sila ng fever, rashes, pamumula ng mata na dapat na maiwasan natin. And 90% of those vaccinated would not go into that complication. So we are encouraging the mothers and fathers out there to bring their children here in our institution to get vaccinated, because again, vaccination is still the best way to prevent COVID-19.
age 5 to 10 up to 11 years old, there is a difference in the amount, that we give for these children. We usually give 10 microgram of the COVID vaccine for age 5 to 11 years old. So that is about 1/3 of the COVID-19 vaccine of the adults. So what are the most common complications or side effects post-vaccination? That includes rashes, even red eye or loose stools, or even abdominal pain for these children. But up to this point, there is a minimal side effects for these kids, and so we push through with the vaccination for this age group.
The COVID-19 vaccination drive aims to protect a significant majority, if not all, of the Quantum Academy students who are eligible to receive it.
So I'm inviting everyone and encouraging everyone to take the vaccine and get fully vaccinated.
Its primary goal is to avoid need for hospitalization and the complications of the disease if and when an individual is infected, says Dr. Maria Helena V. Garcia. She adds, as a healthcare provider and one among the forefronts of TQA armed with a relatively adequate knowledge on the perils of the disease, I felt it's more of an obligation to help in its implementation.
I feel happy that I am finally now vaccinated, but it's still important to stay safe as always and follow the protocols.
I am happy that I'm vaccinated.
A total of 95 parents have consented to the children's COVID-19 vaccine administration. There is a significant disparity in the severity as well as the mortalities since the second and third quarters of 2021. A significant decline in numbers among individuals who succumb to the disease has been dramatic as well. Ms. Rio, the nurse vaccinator, encourages everyone, especially children aged 5 to 11 years old, to be vaccinated as a way of protecting themselves from the virus and in preparation for the upcoming face-to-face classes. Mild cases predominating the most recent Omicron surge last January 2022 have proven just how effective this vaccine is. This is Amanda Garcia reporting and taking the leap.
TQA continues its pursuit for quality education, and this month, another quantum leap transpired through DepEd's conduct of regional validation of expanded limited face-to-face classes. For more information, reporting the leap is Cassidy Valencia. Cassidy?
Last February 7 and 8, the DepEd's regional validation team conducted 2 inspections of the Quantum Academy. This is to prepare the expanded limited face-to-face classes. Last February 7 and 8, the DepEd's regional validation team conducted 2 inspections of the Quantum Academy in preparation for the expanded limited face-to-face classes. This is in line with the DepEd Memorandum No. 71 series of 2021, preparations for the pilot face-to-face, expansion and transitioning to the new normal, and DepEd Memorandum No. 85 series of 2021, preparations for the expanded phase of the face-to-face classes. The validation team measured the school's compliance to the safety based on several factors. These include the school's building and facilities, infection and disease control, school operations, personal health, and learner support. During both visits by the team, the evaluators praised the school. On the second visit, the school received a perfect 5 stars on the evaluation.
As the majority of the quantum community is aware of, there are only 2 schools that were initially given an approval to hold face-to-face classes this school year: Notre Dame IBED and the Quantum Academy. Quantum is a school that seeks continuous improvement. It was a huge and challenging task for all of us here in school to meet all the requirements of the Department of Education's validation of our readiness for the implementation of the expanded phase of face-to-face classes. We started the preparation for this application for permit to resume face-to-face classes several months ago. And undertaking the government's validation process required a big commitment, not only from the school administration, but active collaboration from the teaching community and the learning community. and also the structures of the academic and physical aspects. The division and regional validation procedure is an important stage in the road to the new normal in education. I am very proud of our team. Everyone contributed to the success of our validation. We couldn't have done it without teamwork and trusting one another. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation for the teachers who never get tired of teaching the quantum kids and at the same time complying to requirements for this validation. I'd also like to thank the principals, the academic coordinators, the key persons, and the non-teaching personnel. Special thanks to Teacher Raymond, the head of our working committee on this DepEd validation. Congratulations to all of you and thank you so much. What does this achievement mean to us? It means that our school is on the right track and we should continue to strive hard or even harder to continue our legacy on excellence in education with or without the pandemic.
With the feedback that the school is qualified and ready to have the face-to-face classes, with this, the school has already begun holding face-to-face classes starting with the grade 12 on March 2, 2022. With this, the school has already begun holding the face-to-face classes starting with the grade 12 on March 2, 2022. This is Cassidy Valencia reporting and taking the lead.
War is the enemy of all humanity and human civilization. Nothing good can be achieved out of it, hence, let us note the effects of war conflicts in the economic development around the world. As we all know, the Ukrainian-Russian conflict in Europe has impacted the global economy on a humongous scale. One notable and relatable effect is the skyrocketing of oil here in the Philippines. In terms of the prices for diesel, what was once a maximum of 56.45 Philippine pesos is now on a minimum of 66.35 Philippine pesos. According to Petron Corporation, last March 15, 2022, gasoline prices in the Philippines were set to go up by 7.1 pesos per liter. Diesel prices, meanwhile, jumped by an eye-watering 13.15 pesos per liter. Last week's 3.6 pesos per liter and 5.85 pesos per liter's increase on gas and diesel, respectively, pale in comparison to this. Aside from the hike in gasoline price, the feud will have more remarkable impacts on the economy, which will result in inflation, a decline in the working population, shortages, uncertainty, a rise in debt, and other things that will cause a disruption to normal economic activity across continents. As what Julian Assange said, if wars can be started by lies, they can be stopped by truth. Once again, this is Lay Angelo Valencia reporting for News Bulletin and taking the lead.
Let us have COVID-19 updates, specifically the booster shot statistics in the country. Reporting the leap is Ashley Cruz. Ashley?
Just last December 2021, the city of General Santos at last had a supply for booster shots. Just last December 2021, the city of General Santos at last had a supply for booster shots. A booster shot is a supplementary dose of an immunizing agent administered as an injection. Boosters can assist sustain the health system by enhancing protection against severe COVID-19 results, especially among the elderly and high-risk population. This is why the initial round of booster shots were administered to the city's senior inhabitants. As of now, people with comorbidities are the primary concern of pharmaceutical companies. According to the Department of Health, the following vaccines have been approved for use as a booster shot. If your primary vaccine is among any of these, Sinovac, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, or Moderna, a 3-month gap should be followed before a booster dose is administered. Side effects to expect once the shot has been administered are fever, headache, fatigue, and soreness at the injection site. These effects might range in strength from mild to intense depending on the person. According to Statista.com,
As of March 9, 2022, around 10.68 million Filipinos have already received a booster shot. For further information, kindly visit the Department of Health's website as they may be able to better explain vaccine facts. This is Ashley Cruz reporting and taking the leap.
The 2022 Philippine election is fast approaching. In line with this, political campaigns are observed and manifested. Thus, let us know the importance and risks of these political rallies. Reporting the leap is Camille De Leon. Camille?
With the upcoming elections just right around the corner, candidates are out there going from one place to another to explain their platforms and gain support from eligible Filipino voters. Candidate visits are equivalent to political rallies. These rallies may come with a lot of pros for both the candidate and the people, but they also bring numerous cons. Political rallies allow candidates to promote their advocacies and strengthen their devotion to serve the country. From these rallies, new and old voters alike become more politically aware and get to choose their bets better by listening to what the candidates have to say. It is a great medium of voice for supporters as well. Nowadays, more and more citizens are becoming woke and tend to share their opinions on the candidates, more especially online. Rallies can bring generations closer to one another. Unfortunately, political rallies are major hotspots for bombing incidents or mass killings in general. These can lead to stampedes, extreme violence between or among opposing parties and their supporters. People may also resort to cyber or even physical bullying when they find out that their friends, acquaintances, support another candidate. With this, it is important for us to be reminded that in the end of the day, our support and devotion should be directed towards the country and not to its aspiring leaders. As people living in a democratic country, we are the masters of our own society. This has been Camille De Leon reporting and taking the lead.
Let's get to know General Santos City's candidates for mayoralty position. General Santos City is no stranger to electoral contests. So, this year, it will be a highly anticipated three-cornered fight in the mayoral race being contested by equally competent and seasoned candidates Elmer Catulpos, Lorly Pacquiao, and Shirlene Banyas Nograles in the political arena. Elmer Catulpos, founder and chief executive of the homegrown Brigada Group of companies, Elmer Catulpos formally joined the mayoral race as the standard bearer of AIM, or Achievement with Integrity movement. He was a former reporter turned owner of a rising media network and other several businesses. Carrying the battle cry Barug Jensan, or Stand Up Jensan, and his experiences as the president of General Santos City Chamber of Commerce, his priority will be to assure the city's recovery from the economic slump brought about by COVID-19 pandemic. Lorly Pacquiao, incumbent chair of Barangay Labangal and the city's Liga ng Mga Barangay President, Lorly Pacquiao filed her mayoral certificate of candidacy under the banner of the People's Champ movement. She is the sister-in-law of boxing icon and presidential aspirant Senator Emmanuel Manny Pacquiao. In her 11 years as a barangay chair, she said that she cannot turn her back on her constituents who are clamoring for better opportunities and services. Furthermore, she wants to bring fresh brand of leadership in the City Hall. Shirlene Banyas Nograles, another equally capable and experienced mayoral aspirant, Shirlene Banyas Nograles is running under the wing of PDP Laban. She is currently the representative of South Cotabato 1st District. Before becoming a congresswoman, Nograles served as General Santos City Vice Mayor. With her impressive long track record in public service and advocacy in supporting measures that will advance women's rights and empower them toward the path of true equality, she is undoubtedly a name to remember this coming election. There are 5 mayoral aspirants in the COMELEC list, including independent candidates Roberto Perales and Sterling Sañado, but the 3 mentioned candidates are the ones leading in the race. So, this coming May 2022 elections, let us go out and exercise our right to suffrage. This is Gea Josen B. Palalay taking the leap.
Good day, viewers. This is Lay Valencia welcoming you to another episode of Quantum Leap's weather forecast. March 24 to April 2 will be significantly cloudy. There will be an average of 74% of cloud cover in this 10-day period. There will also be a 52% chance of precipitation, along with a total of 35.4 millimeters of rain, which accumulated will approximately last for 17 hours. March 28 will also have the highest chance of cloud cover, which is why it also has the highest chance of thunderstorm during this period, 45%, with at least 12 millimeters of rain. In terms of wind direction, majority will be east to northeast bound, with an average speed of 12 kilometers per hour. For the next 10 days, there will be an average of 32 degrees in high and 22 degrees in low. Once again, this has been Lay Angelo Valencia taking the lead.
The UAAP's CDC makes a comeback after its 2-year absence due to the pandemic. The UAAP, also known as University Athletic Association of the Philippines, pit arguably the 8 biggest universities in Metro Manila against each other. The 8 member schools are Adamson University, Ateneo de Manila University, De La Salle University, Far Eastern University, National University, University of the East, University of the Philippines Diliman, and University of Santo Tomas. The events found in the UAAP include basketball, volleyball, table tennis, track and field, and a plethora of your favorite sports. However, one event may seem a bit off, which is the CDC, or cheer dance competition. To some people, cheer dancing is not really considered as a sport, but it is considered as a major event in the UAAP. The cheer dance is also making a return, as the last winners of the cheer dance, which was NU, was crowned back in 2019, making it 3 years since we last saw a cheer dance champion. Ever since the pandemic hit, we all know the toll it had on major school and national events around the world. The UAAP announced its comeback back in 2021, and the return is long awaited. In terms of the cheer dance, the order was already decided. The Ateneo Blue Babel Battalion drew first, while the University of Santo Tomas Salingawi dance troupe drew last. With this and the other sports events kicking in, we definitely have a lot to tune into. This has been Nero Emmanuel Sirigoglio delivering the sports buzz and taking the leap.
It's time for pop culture, and today, P-pop is on the spotlight in the name of G22, a new girl group caliber. With this, it's time to groove and bang. While the origins of Pinoy pop, also known as OPM, may be traced back to the 1960s, modern P-pop is a catch-all word encompassing a variety of genres, ranging from pop to rock to R&B. But don't the 1960s seem like a very long time ago? Let's take a look at the hottest P-pop news today. Have you heard of Cornerstone Entertainment's newest P-pop girl group, G22? Well, chances are, you have seen news about it all over the internet. On February 25, G22 released a music video of their very first song, Bang, on YouTube, which P-pop fans really tuned into. True to the song's name, G22 made a bang as they showcased their immense potential and reached hundreds of thousands of views in just a few days.
Bang, 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 ooh my eyes, bang, 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 ready, aim, shoot.
The group is composed of 4 members, namely Althea, the lead vocalist and visual, Jazz, the youngest and main vocalist, AJ, the leader, main rapper and sub-vocalist, and of course, we cannot forget Quantum's very own Bianca, the lead rapper and main dancer of the group. KZ Tandingan is credited with the vocal arrangement and direction of their songs. Seeing groups like G22 shedding more light to the P-pop community, it makes us excited for other groups that will debut in the future and bring pride to the country. This is Samantha Benzanan, bringing you pop dates and taking the lead.
Hello and good day.
Welcome to POV.
Points,
Opinions,
and views. Today's topic, the conduct of face-to-face classes in TQA. Hi, Gaya.
Hi, Nero.
So, I have a question. Can you believe it, right? Quantum finally came back to face-to-face classes, or is finally giving a chance to face-to-face classes. But what do you think the clamor is about with the students and the parents regarding this?
I think the decreasing number of COVID-19 cases and our alert level 1 here in Gensan greatly contributed to the anticipation of Quantum students and parents that we will be able to have our limited face-to-face classes very, very soon. And knowing that the school considers primary factors such as prevention strategies and strict COVID-19 protocols, I think Quantum is more than ready to implement the face-to-face classes. But Nero, since you've already experienced the limited face-to-face classes, can you tell me your experiences and thoughts about it?
Well, honestly, if I had to say something about the face-to-face classes, one kind of drawback is the temperature. However, even though it's really, really hot in the classroom, I kind of understand it though, since we're still in the pandemic, and one protocol regarding COVID-19 is that we have to turn off all forms of, not all forms because we still have electric fans, but any like air condition, we are not allowed to use it in the classroom. However, it's still nice since we still have sometimes fresh air, we still have the wind, and being trapped in my household for pretty much like 2 years ever since the pandemic started, it's a really like a real like big breath of fresh air coming back to the classroom, meeting my classmates again, and meeting familiar faces pretty much.
I agree.
One thing I've noticed, right? I actually heard that you will actually join the face-to-face classes back again. So I have a question. What are your expectations about it?
First of all, I'm really looking forward to attending the limited face-to-face classes. And I'm really excited to see my teachers and classmates physically because, you know, since I'm used to seeing them through my screen, it's a new environment for me to see them physically and personally. And actually, Sir Al, our upper school principal, had already given us an orientation about the limited face-to-face classes. And in the discussion, we discussed about the rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts. So my expectation is we will still be able to learn in the new environment, which is face-to-face, while still be able to keep safe in school. But Nero, what do you think? Do you think Quantum will open face-to-face classes, limited face-to-face classes to other grades?
That is actually a hard question, and my answer to that is kind of mixed. I can see, or I feel like Quantum will give the opportunity for other classes to experience this, as again, let's be honest, immersive learning is not the most perfect learning system. So I feel like Quantum will give the opportunity. However, I feel like it also depends on the number of cases, since we don't really know the projection of how many cases will be in the near future. So it basically depends if whether or not the amount of cases would increase or decrease, or whether or not Quantum is willing to push or pull the trigger again to allow kids to come back to face-to-face classes.
Thank you for listening about the conduct of face-to-face classes in TQA, and we hope you learned something.
Watch out for the next episode of POV for more quantum-related news.
This has been Gea Josen B. Palalay.
And I've been Nero Manuel Sirigolyo.
And this has been POV.
So early. What was I going to do today? I remember! It's Vaccination Day! Finally! I'm about to get vaccinated! Time to change! Hello, Kikids! We're back for another episode of the Kikids Zone. And how I miss you all! But I know you miss me too, right? So, for today's show, we will be talking about before and after vaccination. COVID vaccine checklist for 5 to 11 years old. Wow, that's a full plate, isn't it? So to start, you may have already known that COVID-19 vaccinations have already rolled out. It is made available to kids 5 to 11 years old. Before you jump off your seats, here's a checklist so that you can safely vaccinate us, you kids. First, call your child's pediatrician or primary care doctor. Inform them that you plan your child to be vaccinated. Next, schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccination appointment. Look for the nearest vaccine center. Before you go, bring your mask and your alcohol. Now that we are done for the first dose, make sure we have a schedule for the next dose. Finally, when you're done, make sure to secure your vaccination cards. Because you will need this as proof of vaccination in some establishments. Well, how do I know all this? Well, I got it from my source, healthychildren.org. So I sure know what I'm talking about. Plus, I was lucky enough to get my full vaccination experience already. Stressful. So, to ease the stress, I decided to humor you today. Let's just get a good laugh about it. Did you hear the joke about germs?
Nope.
Never mind, I don't want to spread it around. What type of jokes are allowed during this quarantine? Inside jokes. My mom told me I wouldn't accomplish anything by lying in bed all day. Look at me now, I'm saving the world. Knock knock, who's there? Seriously, don't touch my door and get back to 2 meters social distance. Remember on all those Sundays when we just wished the weekend could go on forever? Well, wish granted. Every day is a weekend until further notice. The days of the weeks are called this day, that day, other day, yesterday, today, next day. Before this pandemic, when you sneeze, people will say God bless you and smile. But now, if you sneeze, people will stare at you and walk as far as possible. Here's another one. Back in the day, you coughed to cover up a fart. But now, you fart to cover up a cough. See? That wasn't so hard. I bet you had a few laughs and smiles. So, I guess they were right. There's nothing we can do since we practice minimum protocols. I don't think there are reasons for you to stress yourself about it. Like what they always say, it's the new normal, so why fight it? I guess that's about all the time they gave me. So that's it for me. This has been Isabella, and you're watching the Ticket Zone. Bye!
Knowledge is knowing what to say. This has been Samantha Benzonan.
Wisdom is knowing when to use knowledge. This has been Gea Josen B. Palalay.
Knowledge is power, but only wisdom is liberty. This has been Nero Emmanuel Sirigoglio.
This has been Lay Angelo Valencia, Quantum Leap E-School News, reaching out to you.